Hello and welcome to the wrap-up article for the Mono Blue Time Warp deck here on Modern Warfare at PureMTGO.com. I'm Joshua Clater. I've been your host for these videos, and to say that this deck has been nothing short of a blast of play would be an understatement. I enjoyed it. Do I think it could be a contender in Modern? I'm not sure. I saw this deck at a player run event off of a article that we published on PureMTGO.com. I saw the list, I saw the 12 take an extra turn effects in the deck, and I fell in love with it. I love the synergy with Telling Time and Temporal Mastery. I love that the win condition is Howling Mine and Jace. These are pretty much all of my favorite cards ever printed in Magic rolled up into one silly deck. But it's not silly. The deck was actually pretty good. There were times, like against Birthing Pod, where I did get frustrated because I was recording on my laptop, and the recording and the laptop made it go really slow, so I just got frustrated and gave up. I played another match against Red, White, Blue Control where I was dominating, just absolutely crushing, and then my computer turned off. So the matches that we are seeing here, I don't feel give the deck a fair shake. We went 1-2 in the matches, and I think there is some bonus coverage. We've played against Merfolk, lost to it, played against Hexproof, beat it, and then we've got two bonus decks. There's only going to be the two gameplay deck, or the two gameplay article or videos will be the Hexproof and the Merfolk, and then there's two bonus articles on YouTube that you can watch where I played against a blue-black fairy kind of thing and a blue-black Mindcrank thing. But since I was in the tournament practice room, I can't really count those decks because, well, when was the last time Blue-Black Mindcrank top 8'd a Grand Prix? One thing I learned today is if I don't have the tickets to two-man, I shouldn't record. That's not an attack on the tournament practice room. It's just that I want to play against the best of the best when I'm looking at these decks. And while I'm pretty much stuck on Merfolk for Modern forever, because let's face it, fish are my favorite thing, which means I have two favorite things apparently. I probably have more than two. I want to be able to see how the deck does against Jund. I want to be able to see how the deck does against Birthing Pod or Splinter Twin or the green-white aggro deck. And the matches that I recorded today, and if you notice I've got a bunch of red cards, so I'm not going to be able to record again because I was borrowing them from a friend. Shout out to Bob Bolin. Means that I didn't get the kind of testing in that I wanted to get in for the deck. So the next recording of Modern Warfare, we're going to be looking at a different combo deck. That stuff will happen in the two-man queue room because I want to make sure that if I'm telling you to play something or to try something out, that it has a fighting chance against the decks in the format. Do I believe this deck has a chance against the decks in the format? It depends on what you're playing against. I think you're good against Red, White, Blue. I think Merfolk is not a very good matchup. I think you're good against the non-blue aggro decks. I think you can be good against Mono Red because pretty much all you're doing is trying to buy time until you start to chain your Time Warps together. I think you can be good against Jund unless they land an early Liliana, or if they have a Maelstrom Pulse for your Howling Mine. Again, it depends on if you're able to catch your opponent at an inopportune time to start going off. This deck, the version that I took went 3-1 in a player run event, so it's been doing good in the PREs, But having not played in the particular PRE, I can't tell you if the level of deck there is good enough to be a adequate judge for this deck. For right now, though, I highly recommend picking up Temporal Masteries. They're about $8.50 a piece right now, with Vintage coming out and Miracles being a deck in Legacy and Vintage. You're going to want to pick them up now if you want to play this deck, because they're just going to keep going up. Time Warp was $3.50, Cryptic Command was $14, and Hurkyl's Recall has shot up to $17. If you're going to play this deck, pick it up now, have a lot of fun with it. I had a blast because it's my style. I know that my opponents weren't exactly thrilled, but my definition of fun is different than other players' definition of fun, clearly. So that's all I'm going to say. I don't think I could make any changes to this deck. The Spell Snares kind of underperformed pretty much all the matches I played in, so maybe a fourth Telling Time would be okay. The land base worked out pretty perfectly. I love the elixir to rebuy your time walks to win the Howling Mine race. The sideboard is pretty okay. I like the Giga Draws against control decks. I like the Aetherize against aggro decks. I like Rapid Hybridization. I like Spell Pierce. You've got the tools in the sideboard in order to answer the decks you need to answer. Swan Song is good against Splinter Twin, as is Spell Pierce, as is Trick Bind, as is Rapid Hybridization. You're a control deck, though, with a very limited amount of counter magic and a very limited amount of control. So basically, you're just trying to stay alive until you can Time Warp, and then do it again. If this is your style of the deck, have fun with it. It is a blast, and I'd like to give my thanks to the writer on Pure MTGO that pointed it out to me. I'm going to point my mouse or my browser to his site. I hope you still see my Moto page, because I have to make sure that I give credit where credit is due. Procrastination wrote the article. It is the Modern Times player run event. It was won by Melirapod. So these things, they do have good decks. They also have decks like Mono Black Infect. But it's a player run event. You're not going to get daily event quality all the time, you know? But let me make sure that I give credit to the right player, because I want to do that. I've got that bookmarked. The player that played this deck on MTGO is Far Fisher. His most recent finish with the deck was a 3-1 where he beat Mono Blue Tron, he beat the Time Walk Mirror match, and he beat Red Green Aggro. He lost to Affinity. Affinity is fairly fast, so that's why we've got stuff like Aetherize in the sideboard. So I'm sorry that I mispronounced your screen name. I love your deck though, Farf. So thank you for putting it up on Gatherling. I'll make sure to link to I will make sure that I give you credit when I link the deck list in the article. But that is pretty much all I have to say about the Mono Blue deck here on Modern Warfare. It's a blast. It's fun. Enjoy yourself. It may not be Birthing Pod, it may not be Splinter Twin, but it is a fun way to blow off steam in between playing the decks that you would normally play in Modern. So give it a shot. Next time on Modern Warfare, we're going to be looking at a different combo deck. And eventually down the line, we're going to be taking looks at the different flavor of Merfolk. I know that Todd Anderson popularized a blue-black version of it, and I know that a blue-red version of Merfolk has swam across the shores. So, for right now, I am going to end this recording. I want to thank you for watching the 2 gameplay videos, the bonus videos, and checking out the article here on PureMTGO.com. Again, I apologize for the fan noise. It's loud. I have an old computer. I need a new one. So if we want to start taking